Hi everyone, my name is Matt. I'm the youth and family pastor at Cornerstone Church in Marshfield. I'm here today with your Cornerstone Connection, a daily devotional. Well, today, friends, we're going to continue our journey in the book of Genesis and in the life of Joseph. Now, we're in Genesis chapter 47 today, if you want to make your way there, but I do want to just turn our attention to probably one of the more popular verses of this story in Joseph's life, and it comes towards the end. It's in Genesis chapter 50 and verse 20. When Joseph's brothers, who had betrayed him, and now they have been reconciled, they are bowing before Joseph, and they say to Joseph in verse 49, they say, "Behold, we are your servants." And Joseph has this amazing response to them, and he says this. It says, "But Joseph said to them, 'Do not fear, do not be afraid, for am I in the place of God? As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today.'" So Joseph was able to see, thanks to his relationship with God, that God had a bigger plan. Even though he went through a lot of suffering, even though his brothers forsaked him, and he had to be in slavery, he had to be in prison, he had to go through all kinds of trials and a lot of waiting, Joseph could see, man, God had a great purpose in bringing me to Egypt, albeit in very difficult trials. And so now I want to take us back to Genesis chapter 47, because it's there where we just see the hand of God. We see how God had good planned even though evil came. Join me in Genesis chapter 47. Joseph's brothers, his family, at least part of it, are about to meet Pharaoh, the one who rules all the land of Egypt. It says this in verse 1. "So Joseph went in and he told Pharaoh, 'My father and my brothers, with their flocks and herds and all they possess, have come from the land of Canaan. They are now in the land of Goshen.' And from among his brothers he took 5 men and he presented them to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to his brothers, 'What is your occupation?' And they said to Pharaoh, 'Your servants are shepherds, that we are shepherds as our fathers were.' And they said to Pharaoh, 'We have come to sojourn, to journey in the land, for there is no pasture for your servants' flocks, for the famine is severe in the land of Canaan. And now please let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen.' Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, 'Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best of the land. Let them settle in the land of Goshen. And if you know any able men among them, put them in charge of my Pharaoh's livestock.' Then Joseph brought in Jacob his father, stood him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Jacob, 'How many are the days of your years of your life?' And Jacob said to Pharaoh, 'The days of the years of my sojourning are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and they have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their sojourning.' And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and he went out from the presence of Pharaoh. Then Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the church best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph provided his father, his brothers, and all his father's household with food according to the number of their dependents." So we go back to where we started. What you planned for evil, God intended for good. Even though these brothers had forsaken their own blood, their own brother, and put him into the hands of foreigners and sent him off to Egypt, where he endured great trial and went through all kinds of suffering on his own, God had a great plan. And his plan wasn't to condemn Joseph's brothers, but it was to give his family life and to give them a rich life in the best of the land. And many of you know the rest of the story, that the Israelites, they will flourish in the land of Egypt to the point where the Egyptians, they have long forgotten, many years later, they've forgotten about Joseph and how great he was. And a Pharaoh rises up and he wants the Israelites gone, and he wants to get rid of them because he's afraid of them. That's how much they flourish in that land. And then comes Moses and the plagues and the 10 Commandments and all of that. But God had a greater plan. He had a greater story. What Joseph's brothers intended for evil, God had good in mind. And he would take care of them, and he did. What an incredible story. So friends, I don't know what's going on in your life, but my hope for you is that you'll take a step back And you'll see that no matter the hardships, the difficulties, the trials, that you're able to see the hand of God. Pray right now, God, would you open my eyes to see you, your light, in the midst of the darkness, and to see your good in the midst of the evil. Amen. Friends, have a great day. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.